getting married is a dream come true for many who truly fall in love and feel that they want to spend the rest of their lives together. However, making sure that the marriage is happy is a huge challenge for many. In most cases, some people cannot withstand the heat that usually comes with marriages and thereby result to divorce, while some have been forced to separate. Some are even still in their marriages but are feeling very, very disconnected from their spouses. How can we sustain happiness in marriages despite turbulences? Joining us is the Director, Procurement and Corporate Service AITO Group and Vice President of the St. Peter's Bell Jigo Foundation. St. Peter's Bell Jigo, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mariah, for having me.
So we're having a conversation. It's not an interview. It's more like a conversation. You just join our conversation. Let me start with you and your views on marriage. I know you're very passionate about marriage and families, but there are people out there that are separated and they're trying to reconcile. They're trying to reconcile with their spouses and they don't even know where to start reconciliation because things have bajé, as in things have really gone bad. Those kind of people, in your view, how do they even start the process of reconciliation?
Okay, now in the first place, I want to thank you for the question and for also having me. Thank you, lovely lady.
Thank you.
And let's also say you look really beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
Well put together.
Thank you so much. That's a credit to
your
God
nails.
and to my
Oh,
tailor,
my goodness.
Fifi. Yes, so in the first place, marriage is a good thing.
Right.
Okay, God instituted marriage. Okay, and He said it is not good for man to be alone, which means that marriage is a good thing.
Right.
Okay. Since it's not good to be alone, marriage is a good thing. That is number one. You know, now, these days I hear people say, you don't have to be married. Yeah, you may not have to be married, but it is better to be married. One, if you're not a eunuch, if you're not planning to make yourself one, if you have passion like I do, you better get yourself some man or some woman. Do you understand? Yes, it is true. I like to be honest and true to myself, okay? So if you don't belong to any of those, then you want to be married so that you don't burn with passion and then offend society, offend God, yourself, society.
Sorry, I'm just laughing. There's a priest that resigned from priesthood, a Catholic priest.
Oh, yes.
That resigned a few months back. He's getting married very soon.
Oh, yes.
So it's totally, I agree with. Yes, he was burning it. He said he doesn't want to continue.
Can you imagine the young
sin.
man?
So he resigned from being a priest and he's about to get
Telling
married.
himself the truth. What did you say?
They don't do.
So if you cannot control yourself, just get married.
Yes, yes. So get married. Okay, now, number two. What do people or what does someone do who is separated from their spouse? Let's take the man, because we always talk about the woman.
Yeah,
yes,
thank you.
The woman, okay? Now, what does a man do who wants his wife back? Okay, he just does the obvious. Just tell her that I want you back. That is one thing.
She says no, uncle.
Exactly, I was just coming to that. She could say no. And if she does say no, and she has a right to say no, oh yes. And if she says no, let her be. Now, letting her be, between saying no and letting her be, there are some activities that need to, or processes. Exactly. Okay. You go get someone else, her best friend. Talk to Mariah. Come to your view. Okay. Hey, I love you, girl. I want you back. Okay. Try. Do something. It doesn't work. It's unsuccessful. Yes. So you're laughing. You go to her family. You go to her pastor. You go to someone who has some form of, spiritual or political authority, influence over her. Okay, try to get her back.
That's in reconciliation. But you see, we've had this conversation on marriages so many times on this couch that it's getting almost tiring because we find out that marriage sometimes is overrated. I don't know if you agree.
What do you mean by
when
overrated?
I say overrated, as in we're in marriage and we know that many people know that, okay, like it's beautiful to have this companionship, but it's not all the tails and moonlight everybody makes it.
It doesn't always, work like that.
Yeah.
But because you asked me a direct question, that what do they do to come
get
back?
Yeah.
So you have to work at it. However, the reality is when a woman says, you know what, I'm done, she's really done.
Right.
Because women, we are waiters.
Right.
We are dwellers. We love to sit it out, wait it out.
Right.
We are incurable optimists. They tell us they love us. yeah, this guy just there. He just finish me with love.
No,
you understand? Exactly. You know, we are mothers. We are nurturers.
But you know what?
But once a woman says, I'm done, she's done.
Okay. But you know, there's something, this blanket thing we use to describe women. Not all women are waiters. Not all women are nurturers. Not all women are willing to work things out. Some women are, it doesn't work right now, I'm leaving. So, and then there's some men who are waiters, who are not.
The percentage is more for women.
I don't know about.
The percentage is more for women, which is why there was a generalization. We have more women nurturing than men. So there might be exceptions to the rule.
The reason why I say that is that for a lot of times in marriages, we tend, when a marriage goes wrong, you looking on the outside, the first person you tend to blame is the man. No, it's the man. I mean, when it goes bad, you'd be like, oh, he sent the wife away. Oh. You would not think, because we would sit down here and we'll say, oh, you know, the woman is the one that is nurturing, she's the one that cares, she's the one that, you know. But it's not always the case. We have women who...
I was having this conversation yesterday with a friend, and I was telling this is why I set up the Sexually Confident Woman. I'm like, because I discussed with someone, and the person was telling me that the only thing keeping their marriage together is the other room. That they will quarrel everywhere, but because they have because they just have that place working, chemistry. It helps them, because they have the chemistry and they've been able to find that joy there. So they were like, this guy can be so annoying, let's go to the other room. You know, so like, you know, so a lot of time we see marriages break down because they didn't just lose themselves and the ability to be themselves around themselves. Like, you know, what I'm saying, be themselves, like, I cannot be myself around you because you're not accepting me for who I am. You're expecting me to fit into one ideal image of who your woman will be. She has to be slim, she has to be fit, she has to cook like this, she has to be like my mom, she has to kneel down, she has to do that. So you're not accepting me be myself. So I become that person and I'm no longer happy as a woman in that marriage because I'm having to become someone else to please the man. Same way with the man, because the woman is expecting, you buy me gifts, you come home early, you cook, you help her in the kitchen.
Tell me I love you.
Tell me you love me every day. You know, so the woman is expected, so he's expected to become that person. I believe that for marriage to work, you need to accept yourself, for, as in take yourself at face value as who the person is. Don't start expecting the person to conform. First accept that person.
Let me come to you. In your view, why do marriages fall apart? In your general experience with people, why do you think marriages fall apart?
Now, I'm going to talk to you from a God perspective, okay, because I'm governed by the scriptures. And in the book of Malachi, I think it's chapter 2, okay, God said that you put the wife of your youth, you know, away because of your treachery. Because of your treachery, because of your hatred, because you know you no longer, you hated her. Hatred came in. You became unsatisfied. You became greedy for another flesh. You know, and God hates that. He hates it because once that sets in, divorce becomes inevitable.
When the wife is demanding, God, because you married the wife of your youth and you guys started together,
Yes. Okay, like what's your name, darling? Tokwe, yes. Like Tokwe, you know, did say, there are a lot of very, you know, high expectations. You know, I expect you to be my mother. Okay, if you expect me to be your mother, why don't you just go stay home and be mommy's boy? Okay, I cannot be your mother. You've got to respect me, accept me for who I am. What was it that made you marry me, want to spend the rest of your life, you know, with me in the first place?
So would you say that maybe expectations are misplaced here? Because, you know, you go for weddings and when they're talking, they say things like, oh, this is your father, your brother, your friend, your this. And then they turn to your wife and say, this is your wife, your mother. Can we really be all those things to each other? Why can't you just take one role at a time and do it well? I
mean, realistically, you can't really just take one role. You know, you've got to be several things at once. Do you understand? Okay, yes. Like Yemidi said that she's diplomatic, right? I think I heard you from there. It's like, you know, you've got to be several things, you know, all at once. Okay, it's like I'm every woman. Right. It's like the Proverbs 31 woman. I remember when I was in school in Scotland, that we were at like a setting like this, you know, home fellowship. And we read Proverbs 31 woman. And the fellowship leader said, oh, that there is no such woman, that this is like 5 different women. And I said, in Nigeria, that is one woman. She's industrious, she's the mother, she's the wife, she's the sister, she's everything. She's the doctor, okay? She's the maid, she's everything. Okay, she's the dishwasher, you know. You know, so you've got realistically, it can't be just one thing. at the same time because you have different factors that affect you.
Can I? Yeah, go ahead, Mikey.
I was going to ask something because two things actually.
Yes.
One is I know this couple that broke up because the wife was not servicing the other room.
Yes.
And the other room was very important
To him.
to him. In that case, what would you say? The second one is, I want to use myself as an example. I am not against marriage, but for me, I think that marriage is, would I say overrated? Maybe. I'm very happy with my partner. We've been together 11 years, and his family, they keep on disturbing us. When are you getting married? So we have set a date, and we've set a date for when I'm 75.
Well, we'll stick up to that. Are you serious
And when
about
he's
it?
77, eh?
Are you serious about the 75? Because we're planning a Shabir.
I'm serious now.
many years.
So by that time, both of us will need to carry each other about. So, but right now that we are still, because even if I move into his house, he will drive me out within one month. When I carry all my clothes and my shoes, say, do you want to come and so? But it works for us the way we are. We are happy. We hardly quarrel. I mean, yeah, I'm not saying we don't quarrel, but we're actually.
Wasn't that an easy way to exit? Because in a relationship like that, you know that there will be time when, well, I'm not doing it again. We're not married. You just step out.
I've said about in-laws that you take them in small doses. You won't quarrel. Most people don't quarrel when they are engaged or courting
For 11
because they
years?
don't see themselves as much. If I'm tired, I can go to my house and sleep. But when you're married, you see that person every day. That see finish. You're not going anywhere. That sense of hopelessness of I don't have anywhere to go is even demoralizing. I watched the video by Will Smith, and he said that the day he got freedom in his marriage was when he discovered that Jada Pinkett, his wife, told him that it's not your responsibility to make me happy.
For my happiness.
You are not responsible for my happiness. I am responsible for my happiness. I think that when people in marriages in Nigeria need to realize that your husband, your wife is not responsible for your happiness, that way you will not put too much pressure on your partner, because you'll be telling him that I'm not in the mood today, I'm not happy. You're supposed to make me, he's not supposed to make you happy.
Right.
You're supposed to be a complete person, happy within yourself.
Okay, let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll probably have more calls and probably bring another guest to join the conversation. Stay with us, we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Yes, so thanks for staying with us. Back to the conversation, guys. We're talking about marriages and different experiences in marriages. But let's come to the issue where it seems irreconcilable and the kids are involved. I know God hates divorce. No, your family doesn't want to do divorce. People find it hard on how to, even as a single mother, sustain that happiness and joy. A lot of people out there are finding it difficult to be happy, even for their children. In your view, I know your experience with women and marriages and all that, if you see a single mother coming to you, how would you help her to walk through that process? Not necessarily reconciliation, but to find joy and happiness again.
Yes, if I understand what the question, that is
A single mother.
A single mother,
who
but that is
unfortunately had to.
single mother in the sense that
Divorced.
Divorced, or
Right.
she was just single
Separated.
mother ab initio.
Separated.
from
Right.
from her spouse. Okay, now I want to say this, that the covenant of life is superior to the covenant of marriage.
Right.
I think it resonates with
Fantastic.
Yemi's
Yeah.
point of view. Okay, that, and also what you said, that is as if marriage has been overrated. Okay, the covenant of life. Which camera am I speaking into now?
Yeah, five,
Which
three.
one?
Three.
That one, yeah. So the covenant of life is superior to the covenant of marriage. Okay, you had a life before that relationship. Okay, and again, you also had a purpose. Okay, before you even came into this world.
Right.
And when you return to God, this is my own worldview now. When you return to God, He's going to ask you for that purpose.
Right.
Did you fulfill that purpose? And you're supposed to carry that purpose into marriage, into your office, here on your view. That purpose has got to be seen, everywhere you go. Because that is why you're here. Now, after you've left, now this lady now, she's left. She needs to be at peace with who she is if she
Right.
discovers who she
Right.
is. And you've got to discover who you are. And you've got to live that life. There is a life we're all sent here to live.
Right,
Okay?
right.
You've got to live
Find
that
your
life. If you don't live that life, you will never be happy. Like your darling husband who said to you, I can't make you happy. Because human love, was not wired, or is not wired to satisfy. You know, Igbo people say that, you know, you're looking for something in the pocket of somebody who's looking for something, okay? Yes, it is only the love of God. When you carry it, not just into marriage, everywhere that you go, okay? Because it is not a feeling.
Okay.
God's love is not a feeling.
I have a call from Kaduna.
My name is Ahmad, calling from Kaduna, Nigeria.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Hello?
We can hear you very clearly.
Hi, Albert.
We can hear you.
Hi, God.
She can hear you.
Unfortunately,
Look, if you can see us, just...
Oh, it's gone. There's another group of people, you know, and I know 3 people that have separated from their husband, and the only way they could deal with it was to keep the children away. You know, she mentioned, because the children are the vulnerable ones. In those 3 marriages, the woman...
She's been married 3 times.
No, the 3 different situations. The women took their child away and they didn't let the man have access to...
That is, they left with their kids.
Yeah, they left with the kids, and for them it was more like, I want that this man represents a lot of vile, bad emotions that just come back, and I don't want that in my space or in my kids' life. How do they deal with the fact that the children need a father figure and someone to... They need, yes, they need that role model. They need to know who their father is, but then the woman can't deal with it. What would you say to such a woman who's going through that place of, no, I don't want my child to be involved in this man's life anymore. I don't want him around me at all in any form.
Okay, now, does the man in question want to be a part of the children's life?
Let's say he does.
Okay, let's say that he does. I would say that is selfishness, and also that is also foolishness, because those children belong to the man. Whether now or later, they will look for their father. I'll give you a classic example. Oh, yes.
I agree.
This man left his wife and children in their youth. Maybe they were in their late 20s or early 30s. Let's say late 20s, okay? And then he now went and squandered his life and his finances. And then 38 years later, I was sitting in church with my mom while the testimony was going on. And my mom, the good one, said, oh, praise the Lord, after 38 years, my husband is now back. Listen, my husband is now back. And my mother now pokes me and says, Inky, don't pay any attention to that. He said, so the man has now come back with his tired body and tired pocket with some disease for me to now start nursing, you know, now that I'm supposed to be enjoying. But guess what? The kids, you know, she really struggled to take care of those kids, to raise them. They've become professionals now. They went to look for their father.
Right.
They were the ones who went to look for the man.
Right.
And brought him home.
And brought him back.
So,
that is the love of God.
Let me take this call from Ola. Ola, are you there?
Yeah. Please, concerning this topic, I think the major issue in marriage is expectation, too much expectation and selfishness. You know, there are times that people just want certain things, but they don't want to contribute their own part to it. For example, now, if we are talking about culture, you know, we so much believe in culture, you know, in this part of the world, especially in Africa. Most of us feel like, okay, this is what the culture says, this is what and that's what we base our life on. Meanwhile, when we are talking about those cultures, there are certain things that are required that both parties should do. Even when you are talking about Nigerian culture, African culture, there are expectations from women, there are expectations from men. When you are talking about British culture or culture from, you know, the other part of the world, especially the white people, there are certain things that are expected. But sometimes people want to pick the one that's certain.
Thank you very much, Ola. I think that is a good angle of the culture. Yes, Mariam.
Okay, you know, I've said at the beginning of the show that I wanted to say something about my husband, and it's about expectation. See, I just started working out again. My husband works out a lot, you know, and I like to work out with him because he motivates me. But there's a trend I've noticed that when we start to work out, he starts off complaining, I can't do this, this is so hard, you know. But me, in my mind, I'm trying to encourage myself to go further. But his constant whining, yes, I said it, makes me feel, you know, halfway through that, oh yes, it must be so hard, I can't do this anymore. Then that's when he picks up and he's, and then I'm like, this is not fair now, we're supposed to be
tired
together. Then he said, you know, this has happened over a long period of time, and I just keep him in my heart. So this man, he's just not, you know, he's not a nice person. Does this mean something else? So yesterday I now said,
Let me
This
say
thing,
it.
yes, let me say it. I don't understand this thing. It's as if you are more like a saboteur, you know.
Maybe you want
you
to
know.
supple skills to touch.
So I don't
want to get
understand.
too
You are
much.
being too competitive. Then he said
Yeah.
to me that at this point everybody bears his father's name. I was in shock. And then I learned, you know, I was saying where it also relates to I'm not responsible for your happiness. I'm not responsible for
motivation.
Yes.
If you want to motivate, motivate yourself.
Exactly. I've gotten this far with you. We're working out together. Do the rest yourself. So.
No, Miriam, maybe he doesn't want you to. You're already skinny.
Exactly.
So maybe he wants you to add some weight so that.
I'm telling you,
so that there's some
again.
Serious angle to this matter.
You clearly don't know my husband then.
The little things, I'll come back to you. The little things that it's not the big things sometimes that break the marriages. It's as simple as she has said it. So some people, they are the little things that actually breaks that camel's back. Some people break up because of toothpaste. You are squeezing from bottom or the top, and that one breaks up because you're using the same soap. I mean, I know I had an issue with my husband using my soap. I said I used to don't use my soap, but you know, eventually now we use the same soap. But it was difficult in the beginning. But those are the little things. As trivial as it sounds to people listening outside, in your experience with marriages, how do we manage those little things? Because eventually they gradually accumulate to the point where it tips, and then say, I'm done with this guy, we're not compatible. But he's not managing the little, and you're using my towel, you're not using my towel, and you put my shoes here. Those little things, how do you manage those things? I'll take your response. Let me take this call very quickly.
Yeah, I want to really appreciate this topic. And secondly, appreciate the viewers in the studio. And of course, you
have 30 seconds, sir. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, thank you very much. Just a question I want to ask. In a marital issue where the wife decided of just like that to leave the marriage with a child, not the man sending her off with, paying the marriage dowry and doing the church wedding. After 2 years, after a child, and she decided to take off from the marriage, take away some of his property in the absence of the husband. And the husband insists for reconciliation, and she still insists that she's not marrying again. What should be the next step, please? Thank you.
Did you get the question?
Yes.
Okay.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Like we said earlier, I don't know if you started listening from the beginning. Okay, when a spouse or when the other party says that they are done, they don't want you anymore. As painful as this might sound, you've sought reconciliation and it's still broken down. Let it go. There is nothing you can do, okay? Except you want to now start applying, you want to now want to control their will and start bringing in other, extraneous factors.
So we don't know how to win people's love in Nigeria. Our men don't know how to win back love.
No, but the truth is...
You see Oyinbo movies, they will shower women with love.
That is stage managed.
That is movie.
That is movie. Let me tell you something, okay? Human love was not wired to satisfy. As painful as that might sound, I kind of like your husband's view. Human love cannot satisfy you.
Give to be nice.
Yes, the man is looking for love. The woman is also looking for love. And love is in one, God. You've got to find your happiness in God. You've got to find your meaning in God. Without Him, you are meaningless because we spring from Him. I would say that we are all offsprings of God. So you've got to always, revert to your origin, to your roots, and draw from Him. Like you mentioned something about being petty, toothpaste, all of that, We lose sight of purpose. Why marriage? Why should we get married? Do you understand? I counsel women. I said, look, I went through his phone and I found something. I said, it's because you don't have any vision for your life.
You have time.
You have time to be snooping over your husband's phone. Okay, now somebody could say, oh, but I now found out he was going out with a witch, so I protected myself. You still lack vision. Okay,
I want to know who you're talking to.
Let me tell you something. You're too busy to do that. Okay. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Let me just ask you something.
I'm telling you,
you are too busy to do that.
Yes.
That's why they come and collect your husband.
No.
No, it can't. You didn't check.
No, yeah.
It's good sometimes to check.
Let's just keep it simple, okay? If you knew your purpose toward that man,
yes. Regardless
don't
of
get me
what
started.
You're doing the right thing.
And let me tell you something, because you're also praying for him.
Right.
Okay? When you pray for him, and about him, you're keeping the enemy away.
Yes.
And you've got to stay there. However, the kind of prayer that I believe in, Yemi, okay, because you know you've been saying, hallelujah, I reject that and all that. The kind of prayer that we should be saying, Yemi, is
Yemi.
not...
Yemi.
Oh, Yemi, yes. You should let her wear her hair. I love her hair. You know? Oh, yes. You know, so the kind of prayers we should pray are not selfish prayers.
Right.
You should be praying prayers in line with God's plan for that man. When you're praying it, the strange woman is not part of that plan.
Yeah.
Lines will,
Let me take
things
this
will
call.
fall in, okay.
She doesn't have a whole
woman too.
Like
I have one pastor that is
Don't
she's a
worry.
prayer
I
warrior
have
too.
Don't
I have a
worry.
call. Go ahead.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you. In fact, let me pick up from the last point you made, praying for your spouse. It is a major role which we have to play. And we should start to understand ourselves from little things. By God's grace, this is my 26th year in marriage.
Congratulations.
And marriage is an institution where you obtain certificate first and you keep on learning till when you die. We should develop understanding for ourselves, and we should also make provision and allowance for individual differences. And we should give ourselves spaces to pull up and also reconcile.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Mr. Okeo, for your view. But let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll find out what you're working on.
You're after my soul.
Right
She's
back.
after my soul.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
I work out.
Thanks for staying with us. So we've been having interesting conversations so far on marriages, and the real objective is to help us to sustain what we have. And for those who unfortunately have broken up, how do they still find happiness? That's really what this conversation is about. But I know you're working on a project concerning marriage. What's that about?
Okay, it's actually called, which camera am I looking at? Is it this one or that one? That one? Okay. So it's actually called The Revisitation, okay? And it springs from background in 2004 when God promised me that he would revisit my marital destiny, okay? It might come as a shock to you, okay? I've been married twice, yes, and I had very raw deals in those marriages, okay? And then in 2004, God said to me, that was in the second marriage, or after the second marriage, said, I will revisit your marital destiny. And he did just that, okay? Yes, so I can say that I am carrying the revisitation mandate, the oil, or revisitation mantle, whichever one you prefer, okay? So, but definitely I have a word from that, experience to share with women, you understand? And God, just a few weeks back, just spurred me and said, you know what? I need you to go gather the separated, the divorced, those who are the divorced and single again because of divorce, and those who are married but are devalued and dehumanized in their marriages, okay? So I should bring them together and then say to them what he has to say. Now, one of the things that he said to me is that he wants their pain. And I was like, what do you want to do with their pain? Do you want to add to it? Do you understand? So, and I went to the internet and I was like, okay, value of pain. But I didn't say, I said, Lord, this thing you said is not on the internet too. Maybe it's when you now say it and upload it to become, to be on the internet. But I just felt that pain, and people should have said something about it. But I did not know that pain has power. It has a lot of energy. So God wants to, a lot of times we have submitted, let me put it this way, we have become donkeys, to masters or to people that we should not, be donkeys for. So you might as well come and become a donkey for the right guy. Since you're already a donkey, you might as well make your donkey valuable. Yes, valuable. Make it count. Do you understand? Make it count. Because let's talk about those who are being abused. Okay, and that is just putting it mildly, okay? People are losing their lives. A precious woman of God, I'll retain her name because I didn't have a permission to say this, to mention her name. She said to me, SPB, the rate at which women are dropping is alarming. And now recently, men are beginning to drop. We know the classic case that we have. God help that sister, that they don't hang her. Because the spouse went and decided to love someone else, okay? Now, we're not talking about whether it is right or wrong. That is for another time. I'm just answering this question straight up, okay? So now she's in trouble.
Right.
She's in trouble. That is not God's plan.
She couldn't control herself.
She could not. That is not God's plan for that, for both of them.
Let me take this call from Zamfara. Go ahead, you're live.
Okay. Yeah, I'm there. So my own contribution, the issue that you people are discussing, that everybody, we have to accept ourselves the way we are. There is need for little adjustment, because if as a man now, if you marry somebody that don't know how to cook and then you are accepting, there is need for compromise for an individual, maybe as an husband, to shift ground, at least to adjust, and even as a woman also to like somebody that doesn't know how to cook now, I think it's better for that individual to...
I don't get it.
Please, there's Google. How can I make a
we need to address these things. It's gone. We need to address these things. What are you? And what are we going to the marriage for?
Exactly.
If you wanted a cook, you'd hire a professional cook. They will give you 7-course meal per time. No, YK, you can have a cook.
Which day did you cook for Gutio? Tell me the last day you cooked.
She says she cooks.
No. I know.
What did you cook yesterday for you?
Do you remember what I said? We are not yet married.
So, but you see, I wanted to make, because we run out of time, and I feel that my pastor said this a few years back, that in marriage you decide to forgive in advance, because you know that this person is human, he would do things, or she would do things you don't like. So prepare yourself that I'm going to forgive. There is nothing you will do, just continue, I will just forgive you like that. And that way you're already coming from a place of forgiveness, because they will definitely rub you wrong, and we should tolerate one another. So this person of cooking, if you really genuinely believe in that person's purpose, don't, if your wife is not useless, your wife's usefulness is not defined by her capacity to cook. That does not make you useful. You can be a good cook, but not useful in other areas. So if you are useful but you don't cook, then I see your value and I appreciate your value, and I will tolerate your lack of cooking skill, and we work on it together.
All right,
that man's problem
is food.
His belly.
And if his wife, first of all, he should have first married someone who will cook for him. That's one. Two, if you know your husband is his cook that he wants, then cook for him. That's my belief. I'm not saying that I am cooking. Yeah. I'm just saying, if you have a man that is his own joy.
That's what you know what he wants. It's food. Okay, cool. All right, we have to round up. So I won't let you give us the details of the event, because we can post that online. We can all our Twitter pages. But what day is it? What day is your event?
Okay, it's actually on the 4th of March, which is Sunday.
That's this Sunday.
Yes,
okay.
at the Oriental Hotel.
I get this. So I don't want to, because I don't want that's marketing.
Oh,
so
sorry.
we'll get the details for the time and everything. We'll share with on our Twitter pages. But it was good to hear your views on the fact that you want to help women who are actually going through this issue, who have a lot of pain.
Yes, God wants to revisit them.
God wants to revisit them.
And you didn't let me continue that matter of the phone.
The phone? Oh, okay.
Yes,
now.
You didn't let me continue.
I want to take my phone. I come back at home. Yeah, but just like this. I started, Lele, who is this person? And I'm wondering, how does it concern you? So once he does that, I take his own phone too. They are both looking on, who is this person? So because, I can't come and kill myself. You are
my own husband doesn't bother. He says, in the end, you come back to this bed and lie down. Whatever happens. Right. And I know the kind of wife I prayed for, so I really don't care.
Yeah.
That's what we can take. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Mariah, for having me.
So we'll give you, for those interested in this event, we'll give you the details online, the timing and the venue. Don't forget our live shows are Wednesdays. We had a fabulous one yesterday with Kemi Olunloye. Once again, we apologize to her if she's watching that out. All the stuff that went online, we really apologize for that, but that was an intention, and we'll try to find a way to fix it. If you want to be part of our live audience again next week, please come early. We can only take 30 people. Come so you can get a seat. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.